The Lovick family have been in the area for many generations, and it's here where we catch up with Charlie Lovick to tell us about the history of Lovick's hut.
Well, I suppose we go back right to the turn of last century, not the one gone, the one before that.
Really? Yeah.
1900, the Lovicks had pioneered cattle into these mountains in that very long time ago. And even though, while they didn't have a hut then, in 1956 we built a hut here as a mustering hut for sustenance and for safety in the mountains when we mustered our cattle. This hut here is built right pretty much on the site where a very famous James Barclay, one of the famous murdered men of the Wanangata, had a little hut just over the corner here.
Is that right?
Yeah. And in my early days I seen one post still standing.
Yeah, right.
And my old man, being a traditionalist, said, well, if Barclay built a hut here, this is where we'll build our hut too. Bit of close water, a bit of good big trees, less wind, all that sort of stuff. Good feed.
Yeah, it's certainly well located, there's no doubt about that, yeah. Yep.
And I've been coming here since I was a 10-year-old boy, so that goes back 53 years ago to this. Well, this hut is a second hut that was built here. The first one fell into disrepair, and we've just basically finished rebuilding this one.
Yeah. Has this ever been taken by fires up through here?
No.
Never lost it through fires?
When the fires came through here in '06, this was one of the huts that didn't get burnt. The Bluff hut was burnt. Yeah. This wasn't burnt here because this is in a horse paddock.
Yeah, right.
And we'd have different groups would have horses here throughout the summer. So this was always grazed low and green. Fires come to the boundary of the paddock and never burned inside it.
Is that right?
Yeah, so it goes back to my whole argument. You can manage fuel.
Yeah. So Charlie, we know this hut's been around for a long time. Who was involved in putting this hut together and that sort of thing?
Well, I suppose when I think about these mountain huts, they're more than mustering huts. They basically are our mountain homes. Yeah. And we spend as much time as we possibly can here. The original hut, basically built by my old man, Jack Lovick, a bit of a legend in his own lifetime too. And when we rebuilt this, we sort of built it as testament to him and the forebears that went before him. Yeah. So it was all done with family members and our close friends. Yeah. Everybody had their input into it. And that's that continuing connection that the mountain people really cherish.
Which makes it pretty special too when you've, all family and friends have all sort of banded it together and put this together.
It puts feel to it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we've all everybody that built this hut this time have had experiences out in the bush and would all reflect on the fact that without a mountain hut, they probably would have perished. Oh. So it really is important to generations of people now that these huts stand here and the door's always open, never locked, everybody's always welcome. Yeah. And that's part of the bush tradition. Yeah. It's heritage. Yeah. And I think sometimes in Australia we throw those things out too easily and we really mustn't do that anymore. And some of the stories that you might hear in a mountain hut, I'll guarantee you stick with you for life. There's some scary ones and some true ones.
Yeah, we know a few of those.
But, kids will remember them forever. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, if I go back to my first experiences here in the original hut, I was 10 years old. We come out here to muster. It was awe-inspiring to me. I have a wow factor. And it snowed. It was April and it snowed and it snowed heavily. Being a 10-year-old, I had nothing that would fit me, so they dressed me up in old bloody dryser bones. The dryser bone they gave me in the old hat was that hard and that stiff that in the daytime the wind had driven the snow in around my jaws and I got frostbite. And we were in such a pickle at that stage with the cattle being caught in the snow here. The old man said, well, you're going to have to stop in the hut by yourself for a couple of days. And I remember spending all day for 2 days in here waiting for those men to come back, and they never come back in the daytime, they're always at night. And there was an old snow gum tree that we built the hut under, and every time the wind would blow, it'd scratch across the top of the tin, and I was petrified. And I'll never forget that till the day I die.
Yeah, put a bit of a scare up, yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. 10-year-old boy, yeah.
At that age,
for
sure.